You are now tuned in to the Premier Hotspur TV. Sit back, get involved, comment away, because we are live.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Premier Hotspur TV. It's your man Simon, North of England's biggest Spurs fan. Yes, guys, we are bringing you the last match preview of the season, guys. Leicester versus Tottenham, guys. And we've got special guest first. We're bringing the Leicester fan, Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV. Chris, how's it going?
Yeah, not so bad. It's been a funny season, but hey, you know, we can't complain. It's been good to us.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And we've got the co-host Matt, always in here. Matt, how's it going, matey?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just I think counting down the days till this last game's done and we can get out of this horror of a season. But it'd be nice to obviously maybe bow out with a little bit of pride. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah,
absolutely. So, Chris, every time we have we have some new guests on, we always ask them a couple of questions, and we always chop the questions on the screen, so you'll get it in a minute. When I get it up, the first one's this one: why Leicester City?
Born there, you know. I you know, if I started following them now, you'd call me a glory hunter, wouldn't you? But now I was born and bred in Leicester. I left when I was 21, which was nearly 40 odd years ago. Been all around the country, north of England, like yourself. And sorry, Brendan's ringing me. And I say the team I grew up supporting. You know, with Leicester, you've only got the one major team in the whole county, so you know you're born in Leicestershire and you support top flight football. It's Leicester City.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Seriously, mate, the way they come from, mate. Seriously, Leicester, and they've just done a fantastic job there. The owners have done absolutely terrific. So we just get into the comments quickly, guys. We've got George here. Hello, Si. How's it going, George? We've got Derek. Love you guys. Thank you very much. So, guys, if you are tuning in from Facebook, leave us a comment so we know exactly we're getting your comments through Facebook, which is great. Smash the like, guys. Subscribe if you already haven't. We've got Jake as well, the Liverpool fan here. Yes, guys. Romania says Spurs are not looking at Nuno, which is fantastic, and they're looking for a different type of manager. You must be happy, very happy, very, very happy. Don't want Nuno, absolutely not. And Chris, before we get into it, mate, just want to ask you about this question here. How good was it, mate, to win that Premier League and the FA Cup?
Mate, I never thought I would see that in my lifetime. You know, I mean, we had we'd been into administration once. We'd nearly been into it twice. Mandrich came in. He then sold us, which was a bit of a worry because we'd seen who he sold Portsmouth to, and he was a bit of a con man. And, you know, he brought this company in from Thailand, like, who the hell were they, sort of thing. And they came in and promised us sort of European football in 5 years. And we're like, yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, what you been smoking? And, you know, but when they came in, and I've said this so many times, but it is true, they didn't just buy a football club. They bought into the community. You know, the first thing they did was, because when we went out of business, we had to sell. Well, the people that were financing the stadium took it over. They bought the stadium back for us. Didn't put us into debt, just issued it as more shares. You know, people were doing charity. I mean, I can remember one of the first matches when they were there. This guy, he'd cycled to all the clubs in the Premier League, Championship at the time. And they'd raised sort of like 125,000 towards a £200,000 target to fly the son over to get medical help in America. Went on the pitch, and they just gave them the other £75,000. You know, they paid for a new children's wing at the Leicester Royal Infirmary. That's easy for me to say. You know, everybody knows the story about the free beer when we got promoted, the cakes on the chairman's birthday. And when you look, and the FA Cup was as special but different in a way, because we were the biggest team never to have won it. We'd been in it 4 times, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And at the end, when how many chairmen would have come down onto the pitch? I was sat with my son watching it on telly. I couldn't get a ticket, obviously, and I was begging the chairman to come down and enjoy it. This is your moment as much as anything else. This is what your dad wanted for us, and you've carried it on. And Casper went and literally dragged him down onto the pitch. And Ian Wright said, and I'm welling up now thinking about it because I was crying at the time. I'm not going to be honest with you. Somebody said men don't cry, and I went, real men cry over the football club, I'll tell you. But, it was... Ian Wright said he was jealous of that for as a club. And, you would not have got, no disrespect, if Daniel Levy had done that, he'd have got lynched.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, matey. So literally, when you won that year, when you won the league, obviously, Tottenham was going toe to toe with you, and us Spurs fans think we do believe if look, he's reminding us here, Matt. He's reminding us here, look, and we, as Spurs fans, we do believe that if they literally just brought 1 or 2 players in, I mean, in that January transfer window, we really do believe that would have gave us the edge and kicked on, and hopefully would have won the. We'll just nipped it off you, but we didn't get back there. But fair play to you, and I know what he said there. I see what he said.
The funny thing was that where I worked at the time, I was actually sat next to a Spurs fan. And throughout the whole season, both of us are going like, well, we're not going to win it. It's going to be your title. It's not going to be us. Spurs fans, said like, we never win anything, Gus. This is going to be typical Spurs. And I'm the Leicester fan sat there going like, no, mate, no. We always shoot ourselves in the foot where the Kings are doing that. We'll never win it. Neither of us believed we were going to do it.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Before I've got a question for Matt to ask you. But Tony's in the chat here. Evening, Matt and Simon. Yes, Tony. Thanks for coming in, mate. Big up, Jake. How's you? Jake says, yes, Tony. I'm all good, bro. Do you think Roger is a new coach? I think he means our new coach next season. We'll get into that. That's the question at the end. I want to get in with Chris there. In the Turner says Ryan Mason, mate. Seb C. Tony says, all good, Jake. Weathers, facts and stats. Thanks for coming in, pal. Evening, chaps. Hope everyone is all well. In the turn says, Leavely and Enoch needs to take some notes how to run a club properly. Yep. Alexander Hilton, thanks for coming back. I ain't seen you for a while, Alexander. Thanks, thanks for coming in. No, we haven't seen Matt, have we, for a while? No. Jake says, honestly, when the news broke this morning that Nuno was leaving at the end of the season, I thought Nuno was dead on for Spurs. Literally just sacked Mourinho to get Mourinho with a beard. Yeah, no change. Absolutely. Tony says, let's start early and smash the likes, everyone. Thank you very much, Tony. Paul says, breaking news, Rodgers is leaving Leicester at the end of the season, most likely to join Spurs.
He's on the wind-up again.
He's on the wind-up point.
Why take a step down, mate? Why take a step down?
Spurs have made me cry for the past 2 seasons, mate. Alexander says the only place Levy would be dragged to is the bin by the fans. We need a defence and a coach to win the league. Absolutely. Now I just cry behind pillow thinking that Dyer is a Spurs starter. Matt, I've got his question here. What this one here? Just ask Chris. Who does he prefer?
Yeah. Chris.
That's not good. That's not fair.
Both managers obviously very special. One did the sort of unthinkable one, and one's built your team, and you've gone to the next stage with him. I'd say, especially with the FA Cup win. So if you had to choose, Claudio Ranieri or Brendan Rodgers?
You know, oh, Daddy Chips. Look, I love Ranieri to bits. When he came to Leicester, everybody was sort of like, "What? You know, WTF? Or what? You know, what's going on?" And I was writing for the Metro at the time, Metro Online, and I actually said Claudio would be a really good fit for Leicester. And I've saved it because anybody never believes me. But I said, you know, this is the guy that's never won the league, but he's got teams to like second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
And if he can take, and this was the season after we only just stayed up, and if he could take Leicester to second, third, fourth, we'd be happy as a club. Obviously, what he did was take us one step further than that. But he did build on what Nigel Pearson had put in place. And, you know, Pearson tends to get forgotten, but it was a carry on from, you know, we were dead and buried. I was traveling, I live in just outside Bournemouth. It was a 7-hour return journey every home game to the King Power to watch us get beaten. So that said, it did make the staying up a lot nicer when we did. Problem with Ranieri is, if you look, he never stays anywhere. I mean, he's leaving Sampdoria. It's just been announced today. He's leaving Sampdoria at the end of the season. He never does well past the first couple of years. And when we signed him, they had an Italian psychologist on, as these radio stations do, saying Ranieri will have a great first season, then he'll burn out. And that's exactly what happened. And as much as I loved him, I mean, I'd have the guy's babies, to be honest with you, for what he did for us. But there's, you know, he had to go because we were either 17th or 16th. We were there or thereabouts. And, you know, you can't just win the league and then get relegated. Where Rodgers, he obviously has not won the league, but he's won the FA Cup. Now, I can't choose between those two because, in fairness, you know, youngsters will always go, it's the Premier League, it's the Premier League. But, you know, I was 9 last time we were in the FA Cup in 1969. That shows how old I am. And so to me, that means so much. But I think what we've got with Rodgers is a coach that has made that decision to walk out on Celtic. And we, you know, let's not, you know, beat around the bush. He walked out on them. He took a lot of flack, but he wanted to come to Leicester and he wanted to see those last 10 games of the Premier League season and see his squad. You know, not see them in 2 or 3 meaningless friendlies that don't tell you anything. He saw 10 Premier League full-on, full-blooded games. That showed his intent. He's trying to build something at Leicester, and we know we're not going to keep him forever. He's not going to be here as long as like Alex Ferguson was at Man United or Wenger was at Arsenal. But he's going to build something here. And we've got a £100 million training facility just been built. There's a 9-hole golf course next to it that we is part of the complex. So if Gareth Bale ever wants to sort of move to the Midlands, you know, we're ready for him. But he's got a great youth system coming through that training academy. He's got owners that will back him, not silly money. You know, we're not going to go out. We'll never go out and spend 100 million. We're not in the Man City sort of bracket, but we're not in the Stockport County Rochdale bracket, with all respect to them. So it's a project, and for that, and for what he can, you know, he's got us to 5th, minimum of 5th this year, 5th last year, and an FA Cup final. Well, win the FA Cup final. It has to be Rodgers over Ranieri. I went on a little bit there. I do apologise, but it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't a straightforward question. You know?
I mean, I'd probably have to agree with Chris. I think what Rodgers has done, you know, especially as he's been there longer as well. You know, he had to build up Leicester again after, you know, and then he had to get his squad, and he's got a great project there, and they look like they've got a good plan going forward. So
this is why. Sorry, mate. This is why and I've been on Spurs channels and Arsenal channels recently explaining why Rodgers, not in this respect, won't go to you. You know, 5-6 years down the line, who knows? You know, like I said, I don't think he'll be with us forever, but he also doesn't want to get the reputation of always walking out on clubs. You know, because if he was to walk out on us, they've always done a Celtic again, and he would get that reputation. But what he's got at Leicester. I mean, you saw, I don't know if you watched the FA Cup final or not, but
Yeah, I
just
did, yeah.
afterwards, did you see the way that him and Top, the chairman, were hugging and congratulating? Again, what a relationship, Why would you want to leave that?
We saw that with Poch and Daniel Levy. Look what happened to Poch.
Well, yeah, that is true.
You know what I mean? Relationships can break down quickly. You know what I mean? When everything,
Yes,
but
they can do. Of course, they can do. Of course, they can. But
at Leicester at the minute, it's all rosy. And I saw him in the FA Cup. Not only the FA Cup. I mean, as I said, me and Matt, we always play Leicester. Isn't it, Matt? Always goes on about how good Leicester.
How good Leicester as a team.
Because Rodgers is my number one man. That's who I want. I don't care. You can chuck all names at me. It's definitely Brendan Rodgers. It's a fantastic coach. He really is. The way he's got not only Leicester City. Look what he's done at Celtic, and everyone's saying, "Oh, it's the Celtic." He expects him to, but he still had to go there and win trophies. And look what he's done there. You know what I mean, he's done fantastic.
I think the fact we're Celtic, and I make a joke about the fact that it's the Scottish League, and Rangers weren't there for a lot of that time because they'd been demoted, and one of the three of us could have probably gone up there and won the odd trophy. But I think what stands out for him at Celtic is that, had he stayed, and he'd got it in the bag anyway, but there was 3 trebles on the run. And that's not easy in any league, whether you dominate it or not.
Exactly.
And that's what his achievement was.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he is good. And he brings the youth through. And I was so surprised when you got rid of Pochettino and replaced him with Mourinho. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I know, you never won anything with Poch, but and you guys know more than I do, obviously. But Mourinho's got to have those big names. If you get Mourinho in, you got to give him your checkbook and just give him a load of blank checks.
Absolutely, Chris. Look, me and Matt always speak about this. We always speak about this, and it went sour under Poch. It did in the last probably 6 to 12 months. It did went a bit sour. We lost. I think he was starting to lose the dressing room, starting to lose certain players. Then we didn't win nothing in 5 years. And we played some great football. Don't get me wrong. He took us to semis, finals, Champions League final. That has never been done before. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he did do a really good job of what he had. You know what I mean? He didn't get back much with much money. There was 2 transfer windows that we didn't spend in. So yeah, he did have half time on that side. But I think that the ball, Daniel Levy, does see it as he knew that the ball knew they were under pressure for not winning trophies. The fans were getting on top of them that we need to win trophies. It's all right playing this nice football and getting to finals and semi-finals. That counts nothing at the end of the day. You've got to start winning these finals. You know what I mean? And that's why they bring Josie in. Josie's a serial winner. But as you said, Chris, and me and Matt would say, if you're going to bring someone like Josie in, you need to spend the money. Yeah. Spend some serious cash, because he doesn't like bringing the youth through. He likes to go out and spend and on his top players, and all he's done it everywhere he's been, and he's won trophies everywhere he's been. So to me, at first when he did come in, I thought it's a mixed match between him and Levy, because they're not going to get on here. He likes to spend money, Levy doesn't. But just Matt, just tell Chris that how you felt about how Potts went and how Josie come in, and how Mourinho's days at Tottenham were numbered.
Well, I mean, for me, I'd have Poch back in a heartbeat. I just think, because I think he deserved the chance to obviously rebuild that squad, and I think we can see now that it was never really his problem. There's a massive problem with players at this club, as we know now, Simon, and we've known for quite a while, really. Yeah. They can't play for any manager. As soon as times get tough, they just give up and they have a loser mentality. Onto the Mourinho thing, it was quite a strange appointment. In hindsight, I would like to have seen, if there was just no sort of pandemic, would Levy have maybe splashed out a bit. I just would have maybe, if we could see it, it would have been interesting to see, if he did, because I'm sure Mourinho would have had, he wouldn't have signed a contract, or he would have had insurances for certain players, or how much money he was going to get. And then obviously the pandemic happened, and then they probably had to, change things up. But in the end, it went sour with, Mourinho, obviously with the Kane interview, earlier with Gary Neville, he kind of touched on it, didn't he? He went, our players, we didn't have enough leaders. and they didn't like. In his own words, he was saying they didn't like, I suppose, the way he was trying to get them to play football, and obviously he was demanding a lot from the players, and those who didn't, who he felt weren't doing their job, he'd call them out, and obviously these players, are weak mentally and just can't handle criticism.
I think if one manager goes, and they said this about Ranieri, was it the player power that got him out? And we do know that players have a lot of power these days, and that Mourinho has probably made more money from his payoffs than he has from his wages. But they do have too much power, and chairmen are more likely to want to lose the manager than they are their star player. But if it's happened once, okay. But when it happens twice, you got to sort of say, well, yeah, it probably definitely is the players, and you need somebody to come in. And I don't know how you do. I mean, Rodgers has come in and he's earned he's immediately got the respect of the players there.
Yeah.
That Puel probably didn't have, and Ranieri didn't have at the end. So. But we've been through managers as well. After Ranieri went, we had Shakespeare, we had Puel, then we had Rodgers. So we had, we can go through managers just as quickly as everybody else.
Yeah,
not as quickly as Watford. I don't think anybody can do that. But,
Absolutely. We've got Tony. We've got a few comments here, guys. Before we get into the team, news, got Tony here saying Nuno has said he's not joining Spurs, but that usually means it's a done deal. Do you think it's a good choice? A very good choice that he's not coming.
Do you not want Nuno?
No, I don't fancy him, mate. I
like his passion in terms of how but I just think he's quite Mourinho-esque with his kind of tactics. I mean, I've watched. I mean, the only thing with Nuno is he would bring Georgie Mendes, who obviously, he does scout pretty good players. If you look at Wolves, with all their Portuguese players, you look at Pedro Neto, how much they picked him up for. They brought Traore and they brought Jimenez in. I mean, if you look at it that way, it could be good, but I just think
I was surprised when I read that, because Wolverhampton Wanderers, what the hell are you on? This guy's got you into the Premier League.
Yeah,
he got you to 7th. He got you to the quarterfinals of a European Cup competition.
Yeah,
he's got you. You're sitting 12th at the moment, which for your second, third season up is not bad. And you're letting that manager go. I don't get it. And I think I said earlier,
it just seems really harsh as well.
Yeah,
Jimenez has obviously been injured. They've lost Pedro Neto. I think they lost their left back as well, Johnny, who's quite a vital. They lost Doherty. Probably haven't really replaced him with Semedo. That hasn't really worked. It just seems a bit harsh. I do understand.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Wolves in a relegation battle next year now.
Wow. I wouldn't be surprised either. Renan says, you think you'll get it? No. Absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not. Paul says, terrible weather here today, mate. We've got to ask about the weather. Go on, Paul.
No, I did. I asked him.
You are. It was meant to be to 94 degrees, but it was.
He's taking it.
Oh, dear.
It's terrible, yeah.
I will be surprised if we go for Nuno, as he is a mini Mourinho. We need different direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a few guys. Paul says it's all good with Rodgers. Comes to Spurs, you can go out and get Wilder. He's available. Tony says Ranieri.
I mean, that was another totally stupid decision from Sheffield United.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes, and I'm going back to the owners, these guys have got owners. I think Sheffield United from, I think they said that they've got the Saudi royal family, but it's like having Prince Andrew, what they've got. But, how can you let that guy go? If he says, I want to do this, you say, yes, how often? What he did to Sheffield United, and now look at them,
Yeah,
there you go.
Ranieri did well. He took all the flack so the players could do just that, play and win the Prem. Rodgers basically is grit and determination, and that shows how the team plays in my eyes. Paul, yes, Paul. Evening, Simon and Matt, and welcome to the show, Chris. Always good to hear other fans' views. on their team, and congrats on the FA Cup win.
Cheers, bud.
Alexander Hilton says, you know what I'm going for, a shot 4-3 Spurs, 3 goals for Kane. Yep, we'll get into predictions later, guys.
One for Sanchez.
Paul says,
are you having a laugh?
Paul says, I think you have outlined the difference between Leicester and Spurs and Leicester. You are happy with 5th. We would still class that as a disappointment season. Tony says, totally agree, Chris. The board between players, chairman, and manager was there for everyone to see. It's a rare thing these days, considering the ESL fiasco. Clubs need to have what Leicester have. Renner says, no for no, absolutely not. Keelan, yes, Keelan, yes. And there's Hyper there. Alexander says, I wouldn't take Poch. He isn't winning the league where he has hundreds of millions of pounds. Paul says it's recruitment issue if they can't find players willing to put in the effort. Jay Ashford said, can't help but think Rodgers has Spurs. It's again with not getting Champions League qualification, have been in top 4 most of the season, just like last season. Fits us perfectly. Jake says, is Nuno actually leaving? Has he been sacked? What's the actual reason he's leaving at the end of the season? I think he just wanted to go.
He's made the decision, hasn't he?
Yeah.
All and the club as well. But
it's mutual. So guys, still bring the comments in, guys, especially on Facebook as well, guys. Smash the like, subscribe if you really haven't, and get over to Leicester Till I Die TV as well. Give them some and support as well, guys. Did you? You could say it must be great being a Leicester fan. What did you do when our bottling selves won you the league? And
I was very dry. I do quite a bit on Talk Sport for different shows and what have you, and I do a lot for the Sports Bar, and that's the only time I've ever done a radio interview absolutely pissed off my head. I mean, I was watching that Chelsea game, and funny thing was, that Chelsea Spurs game, it was pretty much like the Leicester Chelsea game, the way it ended with the handbags at dawn. Yeah. But no, I was literally drunk, like I say, because I was just drinking. It was 2-0 down. You're thinking, God, it's over. That's it. And Eden Hazard's right foot, whatever it was, love it. Yeah. And next day I was at work, and I thought, I didn't go in my suit. I went in my Leicester shirt, and I thought, sod it, if they're going to sack me, they're going to sack me. Yeah, it was just unbelievable. It really, really is. And I tell you something as well. It means more. Same with the FA Cup. And people said this about Chelsea. If Chelsea had won the FA Cup, it would have been like, yeah, we've won another FA Cup.
Another one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But it's good to see someone. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and it's the same with the Premier League. How excited do Man City players get when they win the league? You can't go, we've done it again. Oh, what a surprise. So for us to come and do it, and I think what I'm not telling Spurs how to sort of suck eggs or anything, but our success came from years and years of underperformance and bad management and bad investment. And we went down to tier 3 under Mandrich, down to tier 3 for the first time in our history. We'd never been out the top 2 tiers. He brought Pearson in, who, funnily enough, it kept Southampton up at our expense when we went down, and then Southampton got rid of him. We brought Pearson in, and we built from that point. And everything we've got now started from that point, because we kept, we got rid of the deadwood. And sometimes I honestly believe you have to take that step back, have a couple of seasons when you're thinking like, yeah, all right, let's do it, and build. And the problem is these days, unfortunately, fans, and no disrespect, but fans of certain clubs, you get a new manager in and you think, right, somebody said, oh, Poch hasn't won it, in France. Well, he's only just gone over there. You've got to give guys the chance.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So, guys, we'll get into the team. We'll get into the team news. Chris, I'm going to put it up on screen now, and if you can tell us if this is correct. Coming to the game.
Harvey Barnes is out now, until the season. Johnny Evans, he's going to be missing. I think it's a heel injury. I think he's actually got. James Justin, I mean, great play. What a buy. I mean, the people that go out and buy for us, you know, they contribute as much to the success of the club as anybody. Under, now this is a weird one with Under, because we signed him on loan for a year from Roma. He's Turkish, so I thought he'll get, you know, he's got Soyuncu there, he'll bed in, and he's shown sparks occasionally when he's come on that he could possibly be quite good, but he just hasn't kept it going. And Rodgers, whether we have a feeling that when we took him on loan, that if he played so many games, we'd have to buy him. And I don't think Rodgers has been impressed enough to play him in that number of games. So he's probably got him up to, say, 19 appearances, knowing that if he makes his 20th appearance, we've got to buy him. So, yeah, so Under... Yeah, I mean, he has been injured, so I'm not going to say he's not injured, but yeah, it's a strange one with Under. He will be gone. He will be gone in a week or so.
Absolutely. Matt, there's our ones there, mate. I think that's basically what it is at the minute.
Yeah, so Ben Davies, calf injury. He's out. Well, he is out to the end of the season.
He's back in training.
He'll be back for the Euros, I'm sure, for a while. But Tanganga, ankle ligaments, but we obviously don't know how long, do we?
No, we don't know how long yet. But that's if it is ankle ligaments, he's
out for the season.
It's a while. Yeah, it's out.
He'll be back for pre-season, and I wish him well, and hopefully see him in pre-season. You know, in the new season.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, we're going to come to you first, mate. You gave me your team lineup.
And then changed it.
It's changed it. I've wait on, mate. Let me just get that off board and everyone can see it. Yes, Chris, is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, it's not our ideal starting lineup, and you'll have discussions whether we play better as a 4 or a 3. What I like about this formation is that when you're coming at us, we can play with a back 5. But when we go forward, you know, it goes to that back 3, and you've got options either way. Evans would normally be in the centre with where Fofana is, and Fofana would be where Castagna is. But of course, I say Evans is out, which is a big loss. But, you know, those Fofana, again, amazing buy that we got this season. And if anybody wants him, you know, I don't even think he's coming in under 100 million, to be honest with you. Thomas, left back, left wing back. I mean, if you'd asked me this time last season who he was, I would have struggled. And yet this season, he's played in Europe. He scored in Europe. He scored a worldie against Man United. He was that confident that he shouted Jamie Vardy to leave it. I was that confident for a 19-year-old, and then whacked it top bins into the net. And he's just won an FA Cup medal, and he's 19. So he's like amazing. And Albrighton probably wouldn't have got a starting line. Well, he didn't get a starting lineup if you saw my first choice when I had Evans in. But because of Evans is out, got to bring him in. Ndidi, you can't not pick him. You can't not pick him. You will not pass is his motto. I think he's got that tattooed on his arse. You know, thou shalt not pass. He's there, and he's got one job, and he does that one job, and he's probably the closest thing to N'Golo Kante that you'll ever see. Tillemans, again, goes without saying. You know,
he's class.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's a Belgium international. He scored the winning goal in the FA Cup. Just thought I'd drop that in, of course. And he's Rodgers has described him as his general on the pitch. Perez, this was a hard one for me because at the start of the season, I like Perez, and I think, you know, when he's on form, he's got a lot to offer. A lot of people see him as a striker, and he doesn't score goals, so therefore he's performing badly. And he can blow hot or cold. But if Maddison was fit and firing on all cylinders, I've got to be honest with you, he wouldn't be in there. But Maddison isn't playing well enough to get a starting lineup, I'm afraid. So yeah, Perez gets it because he can on his day. like I say, turn up and produce an absolutely, great performance. And the front two, what can you say? Vardy hasn't scored for, he scored one in, I think, about the past 14 games, but he's turned into provider. And Inacho, wow, where the hell has that come from? We bought him from Man City. I was excited as hell. Man City fans that I knew didn't want to let him go, but he was never given a chance because you've got Jamie Vardy there. So if he came on, he'd come on for the last 10 minutes, wouldn't score, and you go, he's a waste of money.
Yeah,
we had our 3 number 10s, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison, and Dennis Pratt. All I think did I not change Pratt into this team?
No,
I think maybe I meant to, but there we go. I meant to put Pratt in, so sorry. Maybe I put Pratt in instead of Perez, to be honest with you. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, Inacho, because we had all those 3 out at the same time, he had to jig the formation, and they just clicked. And Inacho, he suddenly turned. He's Brazilian. He can do these flicks. He can catch the ball and take it down from as it's come out of the sky. The guy is he has kept our season going because Jamie Vardy's not been able to score. Inacho has just come on and he's knocking them in for fun. And the thing with Jamie Vardy is by having him on the pitch, although he's not scoring, you can't not defend against him. So if Jamie Vardy is coming at you, he's going to take 1 or 2 defenders with him, get the ball over for Inacho, and he's going to knock it in.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a fantastic team. It really is a fantastic team. As Matt will take a few of them players. He loves these few of them players. Matt,
you're not having any of them.
Matt, you just tell Chris who you love to take out of there, mate.
Love Kasper Schmeichel. I think he's a really good, leader. I think he's an underrated goalkeeper. Fofana, I'd take all day long in our defence. Sionchu, I'd take. Even Johnny Evans, just for his experience, I think he's so much better than Dyer and players that we've got. Simon. I like
that's how all our defence at the moment you're taking.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I do like Ricardo Pereira, but is he injured or is he?
He's not 100%.
Yeah.
And I'd sooner bring him on for the last 10, 15 minutes against you if you're getting a bit too. He's not. I don't know if he could do a full 90.
Okay. Chris, Chris, the question is because Matt, because I know Matt likes Pereira. I know Matt likes Pereira. Right. But Castagna's coming this season. Who would you prefer then to keep that position for next season? Castagna or Pereira?
Oh God, you're picking these questions out here for me, aren't you? I mean, the idea was that we'd got this young lad, James Justin, we'd brought in from Luton, and he's only young, and he was going to go into the development squad and learn his trade, etc. And then we were going to probably have Pereira on the right, and Castagna, although he plays on the right, he can also play on the left as well, and that would have been our preferred two wingers. Fortunately, Pereira got injured end of last season, and he's like I say, he's only just started to come back. James Justin came in and was absolutely it's unbelievable. He is like a bit like Fofana. He was never expected to play as much as he was when we bought him. He's 19. Yeah. He would have gone through the development squad. But James Justin, it's like, what the hell have we bought here? This lad is amazing. And he made that left back because he can play left and right as well. And he made that left back role. We sold Chilwell for 50 million. We've replaced him better with somebody for less than half that price. Same with Maguire and Soyuncu. And so what I think will happen, love Albrighton to bits. He gives 100%. I mean, he's got to be the best free signing any club has ever made in the history of the Premier League. Yeah. I mean, to say how he didn't get in for England, we know he didn't get into England because he plays for Leicester, but he can't go on. He's getting a little bit, on now. So I think it will be Justin on the left, Castagna on the right, and Pereira in that sort of right wing back role.
Wow. That's nice one, Chris. For go on, Matt. You was just talking about Pereira.
Yeah, no, I just think he's brilliant. You know, that we were linked with him as well, Simon. I remember, and it was between him and Aurier, and we went for the stupid bloody decision, like always.
Absolutely.
You know, it was only a couple of million, isn't it? I rate Tielemans highly. I think he's. Oh, yeah, I'd love him in our midfield. Oh, what a player! Like, you know,
that's another player, Matt. That's another player we failed to. We was in for.
Yep. Well, apparently
well.
Poch didn't want him, but I don't believe that. No way did he
rubbish.
The thing is that with Tielemans is that we'd got him on loan. We'd got him on loan in the January, and we'd had him for half the season. And I mean, we knew he was class. I mean, you know, he's the most expensive player, 40 million. Our clubs, that's unbelievable. I can't sit here. I have to pinch myself. I think we paid £40 million, little Leicester, for one player. And Man United came in at the last minute. And what I love about this guy is he turned around and he went like, no, I want to go to Leicester. I've been there. Absolutely. I know them. They made me welcome.
Yeah.
You know.
That is absolutely great. That is great to hear that.
That's the difference, Simon, that, you know, we went for, you know, someone like Ndombele, who's pretty much, in my view, waste of space, waste of talent, bad attitude. I'd much rather have a team.
He's got the talent. He's got the talent, but he hasn't got the work. He hasn't got the work.
Bad up there,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Matt, I'll come to you. I'll come to our one, mate, if you want to go through our one.
Yeah.
There's a team I picked. Don't know if you actually will pick it, but...
For a minute there, I thought you got Maddison in goal. I
actually looked. Oh, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. So we're going for 4-3-3. Probably with Mason, he'll probably play the 4-2-3-1 and probably play Dele in the 10. But we'll go with the 4-3-3. Lloris in goal. That's pretty self-explanatory. Probably been. I mean, he hasn't been bad this season. I think he's got the record for the most saves in a season or something.
This goes show how bad defence is.
Yeah, exactly. So without him, what would you do? You know, Reguilon, we've got no choice. There's no one else, so he has to play. But I mean, if there was another left back, I probably would have played them because he was awful against. Villa the other night, you know, the own goal, the defensive errors, he's all over the place.
That was a great goal, by the way.
I knew you'd say it. I knew it. You was waiting to come in for that one.
I hadn't seen it. Max Rushton that said you got to watch that. I'm on a channel tonight. I'm going to go and watch it. Wow, what a goal!
Go on, Matt.
Then we go, back to Toby Alderweireld, who he's losing his pace, but he's still easily our best centre back, Simon. He just needs something, maybe someone pacier alongside him, like a Fofana who's got some quality. Eric Dyer, I don't know how he's even in this 11, but I think, like you say, it's Mason's mate, and he'll probably go with Eric Dyer again. Yeah, and there'll be a defensive error. Matt Doherty, be interesting.
Don't Serge at the minute.
Well, I don't really want to see Serge. I mean, he's a bit of a calamity. No. I mean, from what I saw of Doherty when he came on against Villa, he actually looked quite good on the ball. Actually, looked like a bit fitter. So maybe let's put Doherty in. Højbjerg, I think he's just tired, but he had a poor game. The other night. Ali, I think he'll be pushed further forward. In the sort of 10 role, but then he'll probably be asked to track back, especially if it's Ndombele or Lo Celso. As long as I see one of them two and not Harry Winks or Sissoko, I'd be pretty happy. But I'd probably go Lo Celso over Ndombele from, what I've seen. Images of him laughing at full time the other night, and it just shows you that's not a good mentality you should have. Where I don't really want players like that at my club who pretty much don't give a crap and are picking up a ridiculous wage.
I just think, Matt. I think just French players, mate, all over. Because Pogba does it at United when things are not going right. He looks like he doesn't care. He laughs at things. And same with
compare that to Harry Kane's image the other night, and they're both on the same amount of wages, and you can see who cares more. But he's probably been at our club a lot longer. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but sometimes it like you say, Simon. He's got the talent. He could be any player. He could be one of the best players, midfielders in the in the Premier League. It reminds me the way he moves with the ball, sort of like a Yaya Toure, the way he can just go through people. But it's just his attitude. I just don't think it's there. He's Son on the left. Poor again the other night. I'm not really sure what's happened to Sonny, really. The work rate's sort of gone. Maybe he's just fed up, had enough, and he's completely drained, and he just needs a break away from Spurs, and he just wants to rebuild as much as Kane will want if he stays. Harry Kane up front, there's no one else to put up front. He's been, I don't know how he hasn't won Player of the Year in the Premier League. I think that's an absolute joke, just because Diaz obviously he's won the Premier League. But if you look at his stats this season and the numbers, it just shows the media agenda for me against Spurs, and the smaller teams. I'd say this: if Leicester, Vardy had the same probably numbers as Kane this year, and Diaz won the Premier League, they'd probably still go for Diaz. So I just think that's not quite right for me.
It's the same with Manager of the Year, though, isn't it? They always go with whoever wins the Premier League.
Yeah. It shouldn't be on that. It should be on the best player, And hands down, I don't think anyone can disagree. It has been Harry Kane in a very poor Spurs side. Let's be honest. And then Gareth Bale on the right wing. But I feel a bit sorry for Bergwijn actually, because he had a really good game the other night. So it's going to be him or Bale. But I think
the only thing he put Bergwijn in is just to accommodate Aurier, because they knew they had the threat with Grealish going down there.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. He plays Aurier, he plays Bergwijn. But if it's Doherty,
which Leicester's it'll be the same against Leicester as well. I mean, we still got to do some tracking back against Leicester. So, but to me, it's the last game of the season.
You want to see Bale, don't you? Because Bergwijn can be here next season. It's looking more likely that Bale will probably just go back to Real Madrid and maybe finish off his contract there.
That was a weird signing for you guys, wasn't it? I mean, that had the owners trying to placate the fans signing written all over it.
Well, I mean,
because obviously Mourinho didn't want him. That was obvious.
It's Daniel Levy, mate. It was a PR stint, isn't it? It was that just sales and that.
I went and got one, didn't I? Mug.
Absolutely. Chris, we got someone in here who knows you.
Yes, indeed. Hello, Melina, Arsenal fan. Yes.
So nice to see my mate Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV, one of the greatest Foxes channels on YouTube. Evening, lads. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for giving Chris some support.
Never argue with a lady. But then, is Melina a lady? That's the question you got to ask. Sorry, Melina.
Tony says, hello, Melina. How are you? Alexander says Bergwijn was very good, work rate, but need to finish.
He scored. He scored.
Before we get into the combined, I've got a combined team. I've done it myself. Chris, you don't like doing this because you told me that you didn't.
Only because
you don't like doing it because you don't know.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know Bale. I know, Kane, I know Son. Okay, let's say, those three good players. Getting past that, obviously I've heard of Ali, I've heard of Loris and what have you, but I don't know how good they are this season to be able to, to do it. I mean, I was looking at that there. I mean, I'll certainly, have a look and see I'd be interested to see what you've gone for.
I'll give my honest opinion.
I'm quite interested, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, before you bring it up, I mean, looking at that team there that you brought up, Kane is, you can't not. I mean, Kane's going to be in it, and he's going to be a huge miss for you if he goes. Son and Kane again, they work brilliantly together, and Bale, those three. But after that, I think the rest would be Leicester players.
Well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see about that one. When I do bring up, I mean, we can say, oh, no, we should, and just. I mean, this is what I think. There is a couple of players from the Spurs side that they've had really good seasons, but they just lacked off for the last month or two. But I think they deserve that to be in that position. But but Chris, you can come back and say no. This player has been great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's brilliant.
I'm really looking forward to this, actually.
But the thing is, we've got one comment here. He asked me earlier, but we're doing the team. We're doing the teams. Jake said, "Can I get a top 4 honest prediction from all three? Saying, please, Leicester, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Who's making it?" Well, Liverpool's in the driving seat, and Chelsea's already there. Liverpool's in the driving seat at the minute. Leicester, I went back against them to beat us really on Sunday. Because they have to, because they've got more to play than what we have. Because I don't want to go in that Conference League. But Liverpool, I think Palace at home, is it something like that, or is it away?
Yeah. Palace
home to Palace, yeah, with 10,000 fans at Anfield. So
you just don't know. You just don't
Roy's
know.
last game, Benteke against his former club.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they could do you a favour, Chris. But
yeah,
Jake just wants an honest opinion from all three of us. Who's going to pick up on the last?
Okay, for me, I don't think Chelsea are. I mean, Chelsea are only 1 point ahead, and they've got Villa, and we know what Villa can do, guys, don't we? Sorry to remind you. Whoops! Did I say that out loud? And you know, we've shown Chelsea. I mean, they've got a Champions League final coming up. You know, are the players going to be on it? Or the mind's going to be on that? Are they going to go in for that tackle thinking, oh, if I injure myself, I won't be in the Champions League final? You know, I think that affected us before we played in the cup final. So Chelsea are out of it. But if you want my honest opinion, yeah, I think it'll be as it is now. City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Matt?
Yeah, I think Chelsea is probably going to beat Villa, to be honest. Not convincingly, but I think they'll get a result. And I think Liverpool will. I think they're going to ease past Palace, to be honest. From what I saw the other night, Palace at home to Arsenal was pretty. You know, if you let Arsenal score 3 against you, then you know Liverpool have got a much better attack. So. Yeah, I mean, you probably fancy Salah to bang 1 or 2 in as well.
And with Palace, got one of the best players out with Eze. He's out now.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, if all 3 of us win, then it's going to go down to goal difference. Now, if Liverpool beat Palace 1-0, let's say, and then we beat you guys 6-0. You know, 3. You know, one from Vardy, 2 from Nacho, and 3 own goals. Then, hey, you know, stranger things have happened.
Absolutely.
But Kane loves to score against us. He'll get a goal.
He's going for the golden boot as well. He's going for the golden boot. He's level.
Yeah.
He's level with Salah at the minute, and so Kane does love a goal against Leicester.
Yeah, he does.
So the only thing I can hope out of this is Kane just get that golden boot. I mean, I love Kane.
Yeah.
Do you know what the big question is, though? The big question, really, that we're all missing is not who's going to finish top 4, but who's going to finish higher, Tottenham or Arsenal.
Oh, mate, seriously, Jesus Christ!
I'm keeping quiet.
Yeah. Down the spoon. Melina says here, what did you guys make of Kane against Villa? He looked depressed and looked like he didn't want to be there. Looked out of it. Disinterest. Yeah, I just, Melina, I think he just wants to go. I really do. Not only that, I think he's gutted as well. That do you know what, in one sense, I think he does want to stay, and I think he just wants them to flip him, spend money, and get this club back to where it was. But I think on the other hand, he's saying, I don't think they're going to do it. I'm not going to stay for another 5 years.
How old is Kane now?
He's 28 in July.
So he's got probably, 4 or 5 years maximum?
Yeah.
And it's
Spurs.
He's
not winning nothing. He's not winning nothing big at this club at the minute.
Well, that's what I mean. You know, our Spurs going to turn it round in the next 5 years, and he could end his career with not one single medal. I mean, even Alan Shearer's got a Premier League winning medal, you know, and that's. Can I just say, by the way, congratulations to Melina. She got a job today. Well done, girl. Go for it. Well done.
Well done.
But yeah, that's the thing with Harry. You know, it's at that age now. If he goes to Man City, he's guaranteed, trophies, isn't he? Really.
From what I've heard today, though, I think Levy wants close to 200 million now.
Yeah, it's 200
so
million.
I don't think anyone's going to pay that personally.
Do you know what? They can structure a deal. That's the thing now. And I think that's why. And I think where Man City will come into it, they'll say, "Listen, Daniel Levy, we'll give you the 200 million, but we're going to structure it. We'll give you 40 million a season." And Daniel Levy will say, "Right, all right, that's fine," because he knows there's money coming in every season then until it's paid up. So Daniel Levy, you know what he's like. He'll if it's a structured deal, he'll take the structured deal. And I think that's probably another way that Kane can go to Man City or anywhere.
Would you want to keep Kane when he's not happy and he's not going to be giving?
Right.
Yeah, of course you want to keep him. I guess that's a bit of a no-brainer. But it's like us with Mahrez. You know, once we won the championship, Kante couldn't get off the boat quick enough. Mahrez signed another contract, but another year, and he was sort of sulking. He was having depression because he didn't want to play for us. He was parked at the airport on transfer deadline day in case somebody came in for him. And he probably that season cost us Europe because he just wasn't up to it. And I think if players want to go, just let them go.
Yeah, I don't know. From the interview I got today, you know, he seems like and when they obviously spoke about trophies with Gary Neville, didn't they? He went, "I still feel like I've got 6-7 years." He said, "I'm not in a massive hurry. It's not going to be a rushed decision, whatever I decide." I think it's an ultimatum to the club. I think he's going, right, I am being serious now. And I think he's trying to force a rebuild for Levy to put his money in his pocket. And I think he does genuinely want to stay. And if there's something that he believes in, and I think he'll stay. And it's kind of what I'm reading into anyway.
I was just saying thank you to Tony there for his bless you.
Yeah. Marion says Levy got spoiled. Poch got the max out of the mediocre squad, and then some. He massively overachieved. Mourinho showed it for what it really is. Now it's all collapsing around Levy. Absolutely spot on. And Tony says, "Bless you, Chris." So guys,
cheers, Tony.
I will get up this combined 11.
I'm excited. Yeah.
You're going to laugh at it probably, but this is what I think. Overall, I'm not saying on form at the minute. I'm saying overall. If we're looking at
over the whole,
he's making excuses already, isn't he?
No. I'm not. I said on my combine. I don't go who's on form. I'll just go overall. Me as overall as team to team, and I'll come up with this. There you go.
Ooh.
You got the 6 players out of our 5. There you go.
It's quite a good squad, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 at the back. I don't really know enough about. The front 3. Yeah, if you're not going on form now, if you're going on overall form, what it brings to it, I mean, could you imagine that front 3 playing for your team? I've got to say, I can't argue with that front 3 at all. Midfield. I've got to give you one player, haven't I? In fairness, you are the host channel. I've got to give you a player.
Midfield. I love that midfield.
And at the back, Fofana, Piera. I'm sorry, that's the one thing I would have Evans in there.
In front of Toby?
Yeah. For me, but then I say, I don't know, you watch Toby week in, week out, You know,
It's
I mean,
so-
Evans is
so-
a guy who was playing for West Brom. They were in a relegation battle. Man City went and offered 30 million for him. West Brom turned it down because they wanted to try and stay up. They didn't stay up, and we got him for 3 million. And you know, he's got that experience. I mean, a lot of Leicester players say, yeah, all he does is stand on the ball, but he's waiting to see who he can pass it to. He's not just coofing it. You know, he's got that brain in there, and I think that is the one thing I'd probably disagree with. But then Casper in goal, yeah, obviously I can't. You know, you can't argue against that. So yeah, I'd give you that. Apart from that one.
Yeah, well, the other one before we bring Matt in there, Chris, is Region. That's the one I was talking about before we showed up. He had a good start to his career when he comes to Spurs and things like that, and we thought, wow, we got a right player in. But he has since his injury, mate, he hasn't come back the same. But I'm just looking at overall. I may be, do you know what? I'm maybe a lazy looking into it because I don't know much about Thomas. Is it?
Yeah, Thomas is still. I mean, before I come on to Thomas, I would say with Pierre, that's exactly the same. He was fantastic, and he hasn't looked the same since he's been back. But he was out for 9 months. It's going to take a while to come back in, and he's come back into a team challenging for the top four and the FA Cup, and it was always going to be a struggle. Thomas. Yeah, it's too early to include him in the team. If you put in anybody in there, it would be Justin. But like I say, he's been out 3/4 of the season injured. Yeah, I wouldn't put Tom in. Yeah, Thomas has had some great moments since he came in, but he's not up to that at the moment. I wouldn't say.
Well, some of the comments there saying how can we have Serge Reguilon in there? But as what you said there, who else is to go in there? We can't have Ben Davies, not a chance. You're saying Justin? Is it Justin? You're saying he's been out for
James Justin, yeah.
And Thomas is a bit young. He's the only one who can come and do a job.
If you're going on overall form, and I'm allowing you to have Reguilon because I don't want to take the team over, but personally, I would have the Leicester back four. You know, that I'd have Justin there. And I'd have Evans in there, but then I'm being totally unfair because it's only giving you 3 players.
Well, at the end of the day, mate, that just shows us how far Leicester is in front of us.
Yeah,
Matt, we'll bring you in, pal. What do you think?
Yeah, agree with the goalkeeper. I think we obviously spoke about the left back. I mean, there's no one else, is there? So he has to stay. Ricardo Pereira, Fofana, Toby's a difficult one because he's kind of could be like our Johnny Evans in terms of if he had actually had a decent centre back alongside him. But we have 2 brain dead centre backs who literally don't have a clue how to defend. Toby's played for Ajax. He's won quite a lot of things. Been to Champions League finals. We had the best defence in the 16-17 season. Him and Jan Vertonghen. So I don't think necessarily Toby Alvaro gets the respect he kind of deserves because even for his age now, he's still our best defender at the club. But I do get the Johnny Evans thing, but I've got to back my man Toby. I've got to go Alvaro, I think.
Yeah.
Even for his long balls over the top, I think they're really underrated as well. The long range pingers, so he's good on the ball as well. And positionally, he's really good, and he knows. He reads the game quite well. I think, sort of like Evans. It's close, but I'd personally go Toby. And DD, absolute class. What we could do with a midfielder like that, Simon, alongside Højbjerg, okay?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. All day long.
Tielemans, scored probably one of the best FA Cup final goals I think I've seen.
Welding, mate. What a welding that was.
He controls the midfield.
I think the player who's scored a goal like that was Roberto Di Matteo for Chelsea against Middlesbrough. That was an absolute scream of goal. This just tops it off, mate. I really fantastic.
But I've watched Tielemans a lot, and I think he's obviously a midfield general, but the way he controls the ball, the way he keeps the ball, and the way he makes the passes. I'm not saying he's like exactly like a Luka Modric, but in terms of the way he plays for Leicester, the way he can dictate the play and scores, chips in with goals and scores goals. I think he's similar to that sort of level.
So some of the passes he puts through are like so many of them are sort of no look passes, and you're like, what the hell?
He makes it look effortless, and it just reminds you of when Modric kind of was at Spurs, the way he could dictate the play. The way he kind of just pieces the midfield together for Leicester. I think he's one definitely a player of theirs that can do a bit of defence and he can attack as well. A midfielder that we need desperately, Simon. Someone like that, anyway.
Yeah, obviously.
Son, he's got to go in, and he's his highest scoring season ever. He's tailed off a little bit, but he's still class, and most teams with that, most of the top 6 or 5 would easily have him in their team. Kane, he's going, in there. He's got the most goals. Well, tied goals with Salah, the most assists. Pretty much plays every position for Spurs and does well. The best defender, best midfielder, but unbelievable. And then Vardy. I think if this was on form, I'd go Iheanacho, but Vardy's Vardy, and he's been such a loyal servant to Leicester. What I loved in the FA Cup final, even though he didn't score, he was winding up the opposition. He pumped the crowd up. I love a player like that, and I think he's that's a player you want in your club side. Passion, and he loves the big occasion because he's been there and done it.
And guys, Joey Vardy there, I seen him at Fleetwood Town, my local team here.
Yeah,
and he come from Fleetwood Town, moved to Leicester for £1 million. He had that passion here, mate. He had that. He hasn't changed the footballer. He hasn't changed. He's a sensational. He's too good for that league. I knew we knew there, mate. He was so good of a footballer, and Leicester, and he's come there. And at one stage, Chris, you did have. I've seen a picture of Harry Kane and Vardy on the same bench.
Yeah. I mean, if Kane wants to win trophies, why wouldn't he come back to Leicester? This is the question I'm asking. But it's great to kick teams when they're down. I'm sorry, but it is fun. Vardy is the Leicester story. There's such a perfect match. Leicester give hope to the likes of the Southamptons, the Brentfords, and all these sort of teams that anything is possible. This stupid ESL, it would have ruined that. But anything is possible. And we, what we gave was a belief to other teams. And what Jamie Vardy's done is give belief to other players that it's not over. I lived in Blackpool. I went to see Blackpool a few times, but I never went to Fleetwood. Too much of a smell of fish. No, sorry, joking. but we took a gamble on him, £1 million.
Chris, that's probably the best £1 million you've probably spent, mate. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, seriously. Obviously. I mean, if you are talking the best signing of the Premier League era,
you've got to be up there, mate. Yeah.
Who else? Exactly. I'm sorry. For what you've paid, percentage for what you've paid.
Yeah.
But do you know what, Chris, as well? It's where he's come from. He's come from the actual Conference League and the Northern League, up to Fleetwood's, up to Leicester, winning the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, into the England team as well. Dude, what an absolute story. Who wants a story? Just follow that story. It's an absolute story.
Read his book. It's amazing, But he's the only player to have played in every single round of the FA Cup. And that's from qualifying to the final. I mean, what? It just goes on. You think he's done everything, and then that stat comes up and hits you in the face. It's like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. Jamie Vardy's probably sitting at Fleetwood Town in 2012 there thinking, will I win? I'll go to Leicester. And even imagine in a million years, he'll go on to win a Premier League with Leicester City, an FA Cup, and get into the
FA Cup. I score for England, I mean, I'm sorry, the film's ready now. Just make the film. That's the ending of the film. That one, isn't it? But
absolutely.
But I think he did struggle when he first came to Leicester. He didn't get straight in. And again, the funny thing is, and again, this is fact. I'm not making this up. That he wanted to quit football when he was at Leicester. He wanted to quit, and it was funny enough. Top, who was then obviously the vice chairman. I'm not even going to attempt the surname, but you can imagine shirt sales if that was your player. And he went to, and he literally put his arm around him, took him aside, sat him down, and spoke to him. And that's why Jamie Vardy stayed, and that's why Jamie Vardy carried on and didn't give up. Now, again, what chairmans do that?
And turning down Arsenal as well at that time as well, when Arsenal were going good guns as well. Do you know what I mean? That was just fair play to him. Fair play to him.
The thing is, though, do you know when Vardy played for England under Roy Hodgson? Most of the time he played him out on the wing, which isn't his. His strength at that time was up front, and he put the ball over the back, and he would run onto it. And Hodgson wouldn't play him like that, which is fine because it wasn't his. But history, I think, proves that Hodgson wasn't, the best England manager we've ever had. And if he'd gone to Arsenal, he would have had the same problem.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have. He was close to going. He admitted he was close to going. The money was unbelievable, but would he have been a regular? He wouldn't have been scoring the goals, and then Arsenal fans would have been getting on his back because Arsene Wenger didn't play that style of football.
Exactly. So, guys, we've got some comments. We've got some reactions to the actual Combine 11. Paul says, "I can't have any of our defence in there." So, come on, it's overall, guys. We've got to look over. It's not just like the last couple of weeks, couple of months. Overall, guys, and I think Region Toby. I think overall they deserve it. Region, come on, Simon. He's been too much of a liability lately. Yes, I totally agree. No space for Winks. Do you know what? I was close. It was close. It was him or Ndidi. I was in. Tony says, mind you, Simon, Region scores cracking own goals. Yeah. Chris actually reminded us earlier on that one. Loris over the left. Nah, not Loris. I've Schmeichel all day long lately. I would have had Wes Morgan over our defenders, and he is 76.
Hey, he's retired. He's retired today, so you can have him next season if you want him.
Dean says, what do you think of Chelsea's opening bid? Players Kepa and Abraham and cash for Kane.
See, I've heard something on this tonight that apparently Chelsea aren't interested at all, and it's just news.
No,
it's a load of rubbish. They don't want him, apparently.
Paul says, no chance, Dean. I wouldn't sell him to Chelsea for any money or players, nor me, but that's Chelsea's opening bid. Bob Spur says, yes, Bob Spur, everyone get over to his channel, guys, as well. Absolutely fantastic. Bob's going out in a minute. Where is Dyer and Doherty in a team? Disgraceful, lads. He makes me laugh. Anything is possible with wealthy owners, right? Bob says, how fitting that in potentially Kane's last game for our club, lacking ambition and trophies, he's playing against a team who'll be parading the FA Cup, and they just won. How fitting. And Chris has got a massive smile there. All right, lads, sorry I'm late. Not a problem, pal. Cole says, thank you for coming in, guys. Paul says, Roy says, Roy Hodgson's also had Kane on corners. Less said about him. Hit the likes. And he said, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic support. So yeah, here he is. Look, I knew he'd come out and say, look, there we go.
I wasn't going to, but hey,
Chris,
140 odd years we've waited. Come on,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I want to just actually pick up on a point that somebody. I think we're after Abrahams, and I'd love to have him. So I don't know whether that will come off or not.
Here, Dean knows. Dean put it up here. This one here.
Yeah, I believe. I'm not saying we're going to get him, but apparently we are after him.
Yeah. And apparently Lampard, if he takes over Leicester Palace, apparently has to be one of his first signings.
Take over Leicester.
Palace when he takes over Palace.
I've heard Lampard to Wolves now.
Oh wow! Wow!
So it's
Wow!
one of them two.
You know,
Wow!
there's no other business where you can be sacked for doing bad at your job and then have people queuing up to give you a job within a few months, is there? But apparently we're supposed to be getting Ryan Bertrand as well for a season. We're going to be signing him, apparently.
All right.
But this thing about if Chelsea came in with an offer, I know it's Chelsea, but, you know, would you turn them down?
Yes.
Players do go from, you know...
Chris,
No.
I've been saying this.
I
I will
don't
not
do
sell
business
Chelsea.
with them.
Yeah, I don't know it. But we're talking of Daniel Levy here. If they say, if a Abramovich comes, right, how much you want? I'm going to give you it now. Daniel Levy, we know what he does, Matt. We know.
No, but the thing is, Simon, how many times have we gone to Chelsea before, and when we wanted Batshuayi and people like that on loan, and they tried to get us to pay a ridiculous loan fee, like it would be something ridiculous that Levy does, like just for revenge. It's not going to happen.
Dean says also on BBC Text said we'll sell Højbjerg if anyone offers double what we paid. Hope not. And Top 9 for 3 says, Chris, can we swap the Thai owner for Levy? Absolutely.
Rearrange this well-known word on.
So guys, we're going to end the thing on predictions. We always do that. Come on, let's get the predictions in. Chris, go on then, mate. We're coming to you first. How's this going to end on Sunday, mate?
We do a prediction league on LeicesterTillIDie.com, my website, and I've got 3 ex-players and me do it. And you know, I have to say that I've won by 9 points. I don't say that I'm always getting it right, but there we go.
Who's the ex-player, Chris?
Steve Lynix. You probably haven't heard of any of these. Ian Marshall.
Yeah, Ian Marshall. Yeah, Ian Marshall. Yeah. Wow.
And Steve Walsh.
Yeah, Walshy. Wow.
Yeah. And I am 9 points ahead of Walsh with 1 game to go. He did pinch.
What the player Walsh was for Leicester, innit? Fantastic.
Oh, yes. Yeah. He was amazing. He was amazing. A lovely guy. I've had him on my channel. He's a lovely guy. You know.
Matt, do you remember Walshy?
No, I don't think so.
He's too young.
Marshall? Oh, mate, Marshall was a good one as well, mate. But Walshy, what?
Steve Lynix in his day, he played in the semi-final when you beat us when we scored an own goal in 1992. I mean, it's a bit sad when can I just say it's a bit sad when you're celebrating beating Leicester in a semi-final from 1992.
It's all I've got, all right.
Anyway, back to score. You're going to score because you do. Kane always likes to get a goal against us, but I'm never ever going to back against my team, and I'm going to go with the prediction that I've gone in the league, and I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
3-1 Leicester. There you go. You're not going to go for the 6. That's what you need if Liverpool win 1-0.
Well, I mean, you know, it could be another 9-0, couldn't it? Let's be honest with you. You know, if you're going to contribute own goals to us, let's go for a 9-0.
Go on, Matt.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't like obviously not backing my team, but I just don't see it, Simon. I just don't see any guts there. I just don't see any resilience. Half his team's been elsewhere for the last couple of weeks, and the only time we beat someone is when they have a poor midfield or a rubbish defence. Leicester have neither. They've got a much more balanced team. I think we'll score, but I think we'll concede too many. So I think we'll probably lose 3-1 as well.
Wow.
I don't want to be negative, but it's what's it's just from what I've seen.
No, exactly.
I've got to be realistic.
Matt, I love you for saying that, but it also scares me because the only other time I've been in this position where I've had opposition fans predicting a Leicester win was Newcastle. And they went and beat us 4-2. So that worries me a little bit.
See, Simon, reverse psychology.
Yeah. There you go, Matt. There you go. It'll work. Hopefully. What I saw against Villa was absolutely diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. So to me, with Leicester coming in, they've got something to play for. We haven't really. You've got to look at it. We really haven't.
Have you got the Europa Conference to play for?
No, but the thing is, even if we lose, we can still get zero. So it can work out. It can work out shit anyway for us. But
I'm trying to give you something here, guys. Don't throw it back in my face.
To me, I don't want that Conference League. So to me, at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to go and beat Leicester. So I'd rather we don't beat Leicester, come out of that Conference League. I'd rather out of Europe.
Wow.
I know it's going to cost us. I know it's going to cost us in the pocket, but Chris, you've done it when you won the league. You only had that literally just one game a week, concentrate, mate. And you've done it. Things can happen, Chris. Things can happen, mate. And that's that season did, mate. And don't never back against football. What can happen? You know what I mean? So
well, this season's proved that, hasn't it? You know.
Exactly, absolutely. So
what this club needs.
Yeah, but the thing is, who would have thought at the start of the season Liverpool won that league last year, the way they won it, and where they are now? Do you know what I mean? And they've literally crumbled, didn't it? This season. Okay, you can say injuries. They've lost some big players, but the way they crumbled, mate, the way they've gone, to me, anything can happen.
I think Liverpool hold the record for the biggest drop in points from winning it to the following season.
Wow.
We hold the record for dropping from positions. We went from 1st to 11th. Chelsea were the second. They dropped to 10th the season after they won it. But this season, you know, Villa 7, Liverpool 2. You know, the scores like that. You know, West Bromwich Albion 5, Chelsea 2, Newcastle 4, Leicester 2. It's been the season that you couldn't predict a thing. You know, and
absolutely, mate, absolutely, and like Spurs going to Old Trafford and scoring 6. At Old Trafford, you know what I mean? So it can happen.
I mean, these are going to be the 3 games that everybody is concentrating on tomorrow because everything else is settled, you know, and it's those 3 games. And I don't like it. I'm not happy.
So I'm going to go there's a couple of comments before we go, guys. I'm going to go with 2-1 Leicester on Sunday. I can't see it. I really can't. So. But we've got some comments here. Tony says, great show tonight, guys, and great having Chris on the show. Good luck for Sunday. Thanks, Tony. Top 943 says, Nacho will love playing against our defence. Ask Arthur. Yes, Arthur. He's in the building. Arthur, who's, don't know if people seen his video, has gone on Twitter and things like that last night. He's just made his little channel up as well, Arthur. Absolutely fantastic to have you in the chat, mate. He says don't like it, but I think Leicester will win 2-0. That's come from another Spurs fan, Nicholas. You know what I mean? So we're not confident us Spurs fans. And but Chris, it's been fantastic to have you, mate. Tell everyone where to go and find you and plug it, mate. Go on, mate.
Yeah, thanks so much, mate. Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group. Twitter, @LeicesterTID. New channel started up at the start of the year, Leicester Till I Die TV. Like these guys here, you know, this is a great channel, and thank you so much for having me on. It's been a laugh. Let's give these guys a sub and give these guys a like, and do the same for me. Leicester Till I Die TV. Would love you forever.
Absolutely. So, guys, get over to Chris to Leicester Till I Die TV. This guy knows everything, mate. I'm surprised. When I saw his subs, Chris, I thought, wow, just guys, he's on that. It should be more. Do you know what I mean? But it's a thing. You know what I mean? But now you say you've only started this year, so there you go. Same as us. We've only started this year. So, Matt, tell everyone where they can find you. Obviously, where they can find you, mate.
Just on Twitter at the Sussex Hotspur. Obviously, follow us on Premier Hotspur. TV on Twitter. We post all our, what our schedule's looking like, what video's going to be coming out, and then you'll know when all the videos, go live as well, so you'll never miss a show.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, so thanks for everyone who's tuned in tonight. Absolutely fantastic support again. And without you guys, we wouldn't have a channel like this. Do you know what I mean? And just thanks for everyone. Keep supporting the channel. We'll always have our regulars back in here as well every single time. So guys, keep smashing a like going out, guys. Subscribe if you already haven't, and literally for last time, go over to Chris and to Leicester Till I Die TV and give him some support as well, guys.
Great channel,
so
guys. I'd say good luck for Sunday, but I wouldn't mean it. I hope you crash and burn, but good luck for next season. And with the best will in the world, I hope you can get Levy out and get somebody that can run your club properly for you. Yeah,
absolutely, Chris. Thank you very much. So guys, we've been Premier Hotspur TV. I've been Simon, guys. This has been Matt. This has been Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV, guys. Good night, God bless, and we'll end it with this, guys.
Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, everywhere we go, it's all the boys making all the noise. Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, everywhere we go, it's all the boys making all the noise.
That's it, guys. Good night. God bless, and we'll see you again.
Thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe.
You too, Chris, mate. Nice.